A century ago, a groundbreaking theory about human nature was introduced by Sigmund Freud. Based on his discoveries of primitive forces within the human mind, Freud warned of the chaos these uncontrolled instincts could unleash. This series delves into how those in authority leveraged Freud's theories to manage the masses in an era of mass democracy. Central to the narrative are not only Sigmund Freud, but also other members of the Freud family. At the forefront is Freud's American nephew, Edward Bernays, whose impact on the 20th century rivaled his uncle's, using Freud's concepts to shape mass manipulation. By associating mass-produced goods with unconscious desires, Bernays pioneered a new approach to governing the public. He believed that by fulfilling people's inner wants, they could be kept content and subdued, paving the way for the rise of self-absorption that characterizes our modern world. Freud's insights on human psychology are now deeply ingrained in society. Each year, an extravagant psychotherapist ball takes place in Vienna, where psychotherapists, patients, and Viennese society members gather, marking a stark contrast from a time when Freud's ideas were met with disdain in the city's aristocratic circles. Vienna, the heart of a powerful empire, viewed Freud's psychological probing as a threat to its rigid control. Freud's exploration of the unconscious mind, through concepts like psychoanalysis, unsettled the establishment by unveiling primal urges suppressed by society. Freud's nephew, Edward Bernays, observed the turmoil from across the Atlantic, working as a press agent in America during the chaos of World War I. Harnessing his uncle's teachings, Bernays became a master at shaping public opinion, assisting the US government in promoting war efforts, and later advocating for democracy at the Paris Peace Conference. Upon returning to America, Bernays founded the term public relations counselor, marking a new era of influencing public opinion. Drawing inspiration from Freud's explorations of the human psyche, Bernays sought to tap into people's emotions to sway their behavior. One of his most audacious endeavors was convincing women to smoke by aligning cigarettes with notions of challenging male dominance. Through a cleverly orchestrated publicity stunt during a New York Easter parade, Bernays rebranded smoking as a symbol of independence and empowerment for women, leading to a surge in cigarette sales. Bernays' success in manipulating public sentiment captivated American businesses, who feared a market saturation following the war. By transitioning from marketing based on necessity to desire, corporations sought to create a consumer culture where material wants trumped basic needs. Edward Bernays revolutionized advertising by connecting products to consumers' deepest desires and emotions, laying the groundwork for modern consumerism in America. In the early 20th century, a shift occurred in society. A man named Edward Bernays played a pivotal role in changing the mindset of corporations. Bernays understood how to appeal to different classes psychologically. He developed techniques for mass consumer persuasion, promoting products through famous personalities like film stars and using product placement in movies. He glamorized products, created the concept of selling cars as symbols of sexuality, and employed psychologists to endorse products as beneficial. Bernays revolutionized marketing strategies by creating a culture of consuming for desire rather than necessity. As consumerism grew, Bernays' influence expanded, even reaching the political realm. He orchestrated events that fused politics with public relations, aiming to manage and influence public opinion. Although he gained wealth and power, his ideals were challenged by the 1929 Wall Street crash, which highlighted the fragility of consumer-based economies. Meanwhile, in Europe, Sigmund Freud, facing personal and societal hardships, wrote about the complexities of civilization and human discontent. Freud's writings influenced intellectuals like Bernays and politicians like Adolf Hitler, who sought alternative ways to control society beyond democracy. Hitler's rise to power marked a turning point in history, where manipulative propaganda and centralized state control became tools to harness and direct the masses' desires. As the world entered an era of political turmoil and ideological conflict, the intricate interplay between psychology, marketing, and governance shaped the course of history. These events underscored the power of understanding and influencing the human mind, revealing the potential for both liberation and manipulation. In America, democracy faced a threat from an angry mob due to the disastrous stock market crash and growing violence in 1932. A new president aimed not to destroy but strengthen democracy by managing the free market and initiating the New Deal. Roosevelt believed in involving the masses in government, unlike the Nazis, who admired the New Deal's control over big business. The president, with the help of social scientist George Gallup, leveraged opinion polling to understand and engage ordinary Americans in policymaking. The connection between citizens and politicians shifted, with people seen as active participants rather than controlled consumers. As Roosevelt sought further control over big businesses, a campaign by corporations aimed to sway public opinion through emotional ties. This battle for power amid business and government interests escalated, with public relations playing a key role. The impact of events in Europe, such as the Nazi annexation of Austria in 1938, influenced changing views on human nature, democracy, and control. Freud's family sought refuge in Britain during the escalating violence in Vienna, with Freud's vital contributions to psychology enduring. The Second World War prompted governments to acknowledge hidden dangers within society, leading to efforts to manage the masses' psychological complexities. Roosevelt would continue to navigate political and economic challenges, seeking to balance democracy with the influence of business interests. Out of this would come vast government programs to manage the inner psychological life of the masses.